have to ask this one last question because I know I'm going over, but it's because you're so great and there's no one like you that understands the border. But there is a nexus, and that is what I talked about in the opening of my podcast between the drug cartels and terrorist organizations. It's not alarmist. It's real. It exists. And nobody can tell me that it doesn't. I know the DEA has been looking into this for a long time. I know the CIA has been looking into this for a long time. I know our foreign intelligence partners have looked into this. And it is the reason why we're so concerned about a porous border, at least our intel agencies.
Right. So, Sarah, it's real simple. Terrorists are increasingly turning to crime and criminal networks for their funding because their funding streams have disintegrated because of sanctions and other good work that's been done around the world. And here's the problem. We had Project Cassandra as an example because it was well publicized. They were working very closely with the Los Zetas cartel. The main guy who was indicted in the Eastern District of Virginia was involved with moving $200 million a month to the terrorist organizations. And he also was indicted for moving the proceeds of over 80,000 kilograms of cocaine for the cartels. So this is a very serious issue. But the other thing that I failed to say that's very important, the Chinese now are dominating the money laundering services business in America for the cartels. They are picking up the cash and they are moving money from one Chinese bank account to another on their smartphones, right? We can't do much about that. They're using encrypted apps and they're moving money and then they're buying consumer goods over in China. They're shipping the goods into South America or Mexico or wherever, and they're selling the goods and everybody's making money. And the poor law enforcement is in the dark because the laws are so antiquated. And these are countries around the world that are making a lot of money off the drug problem in America, right? And so
that's incredible. So the Chinese are laundering. They figured out how to launder the money the right way.
But Sarah, here's what they're doing. They have Chinese nationals, young kids running around the country, picking up millions of dollars. They give it to Chinese businessmen in the U.S. because there's an export limit of $50,000 a year out of Beijing. So they need cash here to buy houses, to buy property, to put their kids in school. So they pay cash. But here's also what they're doing. They're buying real estate all over the country and they're putting these state-of-the-art marijuana grow operations in these houses. And they're selling this very pure THC, very high purity pot around America. So they're buying houses with drug money in cash. Then they're selling the drugs all over the country. So again, they're destabilizing the country by pushing massive amounts of drugs and providing a service to the cartels. Last thing, if the cartels do not have their money and they do not have their chemicals, they can't produce the drugs. So what are we waiting for? Why are we not hitting these labs? Why are we not stopping the money? Why are we not dealing with this? It's got to be put on steroids. We have to have a state of emergency here for law enforcement to go after this problem because kids are dying at record levels.